I wanted to talk a little bit about the change of season that we just underwent. So we're now in fall and we've left summer, and there's a shift happening in nature that we may or may not be connected to. We want to be connected to it because the more our bodies are aligned with the shifts in nature, the healthier we are. And I want to speak specifically about our microbiome and our gut health when it comes to the shifting seasons. There's kind of new research that just surfaced about the gut microbiome and gut bacteria and how it's connected to seasonal changes, and researchers have found in studying one of the last hunter and gatherer populations in Tanzania that their microbes shift with their seasons. So in their wet season, they have a certain type of microbe that gets really populated because they're eating honey and foraged foods. And then in their drier season, when they're eating a more meat-heavy diet, their microbes are shifting and a different set of microbes become more populated, and the wet season microbes kind of diminish or get very low. And so what this tells us is that there is a shift in microbes with the seasons. Now, we live very urban lifestyle, so our shifts obviously are not going to be as profound. But it's still important to pay attention to this health-wise, because when our microbes become dysregulated, and they can be if we're not trying to connect with nature and the shifts in time and season in some way, it does cause us ill health and can really mess up our microbiome. So some of the ways that we can stay connected seasonally, even though we spend 90% of our time inside working and not being in nature, there's a multitude of ways. So one is sleep. With sleep, microbes are responsible for producing hormones that contribute to your sleep. So they play a part in melatonin, serotonin, and GABA, all things that help us go to sleep and sleep well. And so one of the things we can do to support this shift in time and change is to align ourselves with the shifts in light. So making sure that we're paying attention and maybe getting up with the sun and going and closing things down when the sun starts to set. So really just aligning with the normal cycle of time and the sun will help us and our bodies regulate to the rhythms that we're shifting to. So this is a really great way to begin to align with the shifts in nature on a physiological level. And sleep is really important for healthy microbes as well, and rejuvenating the brain and many other aspects of our well-being. The second thing that we could do is shop seasonally. So eating foods that are in season are automatically going to feed our body the things that it needs, and we're going to feed the microbes that we want to be populated during this seasonal time. So some of the vegetables that we're going to be seeing are some more root vegetables. We're going to see a disappearance of some of our summer fruits. Slowly but surely, tomatoes are going to start to not be in season. You may see all these things in your grocery store, but that doesn't mean they're in season. So you need to pay attention and do this research on your own by looking up what's in season for September, October, and there's great websites that share this information with you. When we eat foods that aren't in season, they also are much lower in nutrients, and they can often be treated with pesticides. So eating locally, eating seasonally is another thing we could do to support our gut in shifting with the seasonal change. The last thing I wanted to just recommend, and hopefully most of us are doing this, especially since we've been cooped up also with the pandemic so much, is getting outside a lot. When we're outside, we're exposed to good bacteria, right? We've had a lot of talk about bad bacteria and viruses, but bacteria is nothing to be afraid of in general, and we actually need it to repopulate our microbes. And we want to expose ourselves to dirt and leaves and trees and things outside. And so spending some time outside, maybe even gardening and getting our hands in the dirt is a great way to connect not only with the earth and nature, but to help our microbiome be healthy and shift with the seasons. And you'll also, when you go outside, you'll actually be experiencing the weather. When we're inside, we're in climate controlled environment, and the microbes can't relate to that, right? It doesn't really give them any information, our bodies, any information about what's happening in an external way. So go outside and get some fresh air and feel the breeze, the heat, the wind, whatever it is, the cool air, and your body will respond to that. So I hope this is helpful and it helps you lean into this shift into fall. It may not feel like it yet, but we are there and our bodies know we're there. So just honor and respect that relationship and enjoy the process.